On the Sunday.
Good evening, everyone.
for a few
It's
minutes.
Carl from Fourth and Inches, joined here tonight with Liam and Nick. And also, we've got a special guest, Little Tobes. Where are we? Resident Seahawks fan. Lads, how are we?
Oh, good, mate. If it looks like I'm talking, but nothing's coming out, it's because Toby's pulled the microphone out. So just bear with me.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Liam, how are we, Jeff?
Good, man. All good. You?
Yeah, I'm good. We're just don't know if everyone's noticed. Hopefully, my camera's looking a lot better. Yeah, I figured that out. Try some different layouts and things through the software that we're using. But yeah, tonight essentially we're just going to go through 4 games. Is it 4 we've got? 4 we've picked out for predictions. Mr. Chris Levers can't be with us tonight, but he has done a video, so I'm gonna whack his predictions on quickly, and then we will go through ours. Video shouldn't be any longer than half an hour, so hopefully you stop by, enjoy, and yeah, crack on. Bear with me a second. Mr. Beavers, take it away.
Right, guys.
He says.
Right, guys. NFL finally back. What a week. We're going to throw straight into week 2's predictions. So we have the Thursday night game. Bengals at the Browns. There's a lot of pressure on Joe Burrow. There's a lot of talk about him being the number 1 pick. Ohio boy as well. But for me, the Browns are going to have a little bit too much on offense for the Bengals defense to handle. I can see it being quite a high scoring game, but I can see the Browns proper kicking into gear tonight. Odell Beckham probably will be the star of the game. I'm going to go with a 30-21 scoreline in favour of the Browns. And then Sunday, we've got some big games Sunday. We've got the Rams at the Eagles. Eagles put on such a good performance in that first half, but then did not show up in the second half. And the frailties on that offensive line were so apparent. And then now they're coming up against an Aaron Donald monster who was shredding double teams and just wrecking house in Dallas on Sunday night. So the question is, can the Eagles O-line hold up against Aaron Donald? I don't think so. I don't see it being a high-scoring game. I see it being a tough fixture for both. But I'm going to go with the Rams, and I'm going to give it a 24-21 win in favour of the Rams. I think they'll have a little bit too much on defence. I think Aaron Donald will wreck the game for the game plan for the Eagles, as that O-line just shows it can't handle pressure. Moving on, we have the Patriots at the Seahawks. Patriots had a nice win week 1. Again, it was a bit scrappy, but the defense played well enough. And it's moving forward. Cam looked impressive with his legs. He was efficient with the ball. It's just a case of whether they can take that forward. Obviously, the no crowd in the Seahawks stadium makes a massive difference. The Seahawks offense was flying in week 1. Russell Wilson was near perfect. I don't think you could ask for more. I think he's probably the best QB. Everybody, obviously, there's the star of Mahomes, but for me, Russell Wilson's probably the best QB in football right now. And I think the fact that he has 0 MVP votes in his career might be a little bit of a disgrace to him. I can see it being a proper battle, sluggish. The Patriots' defense is a monster, and it's just about how it is for Seattle. Obviously, without that crowd behind them. But if they're playing anything like they did week 1, I can see a Seattle win here. I'd probably go for a 28-24 scoreline, because I think the Patriots will score, and I think could be just because the crowd noise isn't there, the crowd's not there. But I can see the Seattle offense just being a bit too powerful, even though the Patriots DBs are frightening. I think that they have so many weapons, and the way Russell Wilson plays, the mobile quarterback has always hindered the Patriots. So I can see Russell Wilson holding on to a win there. And then finally, we have the Bucs at Tampa Bay. The Bucs at Carolina. Tough loss for the Bucs in week 1. A lot of questions asked of the offense. Obviously, questions around Mike Evans and his fitness and how prepared they are. Again, they're going up against a Carolina team who fought hard against the Raiders. I can see them being. I can see it being a close game to start with, but then I can see the Bucs overpowering the Panthers, because realistically, if the run gets stuffed against the Panthers, they're asking a lot for Teddy Bridgewater to fly off to do a lot. I'd probably go with a scoreline of maybe 30-17. I think the offense will start to click this week. You'll see a lot more play action. You'll see a lot more short throws, and they'll try and probably get Mark Evans in the game as early as possible to making a statement. Also, Gronk, I can see him being a factor this week, and them just running through the motions, getting the ball out of Brady's hand quick, and the Bucs going on to win the game. And that's all for me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Levers. So those are his predictions. Let us know in the comments what you think about them. Obviously, we'll probably have a more in-depth roundup of the games coming up to Sunday evening as well, providing everyone's free, because I know we're all living busy lives right now because we're all out in lockdown and net for a little bit. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. I'm in quite a good mood, so apologies. Anyway,
Jeez,
yes.
wow.
So the game we're going to start with is the Browns against the Bengals, which is obviously tonight. Both teams coming off a loss. The Browns coming off an absolute ass whooping from Lamar and company, and obviously the Bengals. It was quite a close game with them and the Chargers, to be fair. So probably unlucky not to come out with a result, all things being said. But Liam, how do you see this one going, mate? What are your thoughts on tonight?
I think the Browns will see it. I do agree with what Chris said about it being the Browns having a little bit more quality about them. But I know it's only 1 week in, and I know we've had our doubts about him, but Burrows did look all right, to be fair, on the weekend, all things considered. He moved the ball around well. He had that interception, which I think put a bit of a blemish on his otherwise good game. But I've gone with the Browns with a 17-10 win, but I do think it will be close there.
Cool. So your apologies, mate. What was your result? We've got up.
I went 17-10 to the Browns.
So Liam's going with 17-10 to the Browns. Coming over to yourself, Nick. How do you feel it's going to go, mate?
I mirror everything that the other two said. I think it was always going to be a tough ask to go against the Ravens, wasn't it, last week? Especially coming off that last season. I think Baker Mayfield forced a lot to OBJ. I think I saw a stat that he had 6 consecutive attempts at Beckham Jr. and I don't think he connected with one. So it's just like, you can see what he's doing, and it's only going to take that 1 weekend to click, and I think it will click, and they will be running in. Like, you can't take away what Odell Beckham's like. So yeah, and again, then you look at the running backs as well. Just as a team, the Browns have got a good team. I think it was always going to be a difficult ask last week against the Ravens, irregardless of what your thoughts and allegiances are. So I think this week, for me, they're going to probably put a whopping on it. I can't remember what I said. I think I've gone Browns 24, Bengals 13. That's probably closer than what I think the actual game's going to map out. I think the Browns are going to absolutely batter them.
Oh, really? Well, this is what makes my one very interesting then. But let's get that up on the screen. So Nick's saying 24-13 for the Browns. I think I'm going to surprise everyone. I won't say anything. I'll just put mine on the screen. Now, let me tell you what.
How are they going to get 24 points?
Mate,
Please justify this.
I just genuinely think, I think Joe Burrow is. I do not like the Browns DBs at all, and I think their second. Liam talks about the Bucs secondary not being on point, and to which point I can somewhat understand. The Browns are worse. The Browns are worse in my opinion. I still don't think that Baker Mayfield has enough chemistry with his wide receivers. And I think Joe Mixon as well. I think they're going to struggle to stop Joe Mixon personally. I just don't think that they're the team they have on paper. They've never come to fruition. I just don't think it's going to be tonight. I think there's going to be an upset, and I completely understand people might be laughing at this. I just think there's going to be an upset. So I'm going 24 Bengals, 21 Browns, and we'll leave it at that.
I don't think either will get that high.
Do you not?
No. Like,
For me, it's less the Browns are going to do well, more the Bengals are going to do crap.
Okay, that's fair enough. But those are our predictions. So quickly running back through. Liam, 17-10 to the Browns. Nick, 24-13 to the Browns. And myself, 24-21 to the Bengals. I had to be different.
Well.
On the road, I had to be different. Moving on to...
On the road.
Huh?
Carry on.
Moving on to the most important game of the week for myself and Liam, selfishly. Bucks against the Panthers, rivalry. We always put our friendship on hold every season. We come up against each other, and I'll go straight over to you, Liam. How do you think it's going to
go? For you, well, for me, not so much. I mean, straight away, I've gone with a 31-20 win for the Bucks, and whilst based on your performance last week, you can be got at, but I don't see it happening. The reason I give us 20 points is because I can see you having a quite a big lead going into the third and fourth quarter, so the points we'll get will be kind of like your garbage time points, that kind of thing, but by that point you'll have won the game comfortably, I believe. It will take us a few weeks to click on paper. I mean, what I did like about us last week is that Teddy Bridgewater was comfortable spreading it around. He wasn't solely relying on McCaffrey, which was nice. But when he needed to, McCaffrey was the guy, as we all know from last week anyway. But it was nice to see him connecting with Robbie Anderson. But at the end of the day, I don't think we'll have... Our secondary was awful. Absolutely awful. We couldn't put any pressure on the QB either, so our front line was awful. So I can't personally see us getting at Tom Brady, stopping Mike Evans. I guess Godwin might be out if he's in concussion protocol, but even without him, as it stands, I'm struggling to see us win this game.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Nick, yourself?
I've gone Bucks win, and I think they're going to stumble across the line again. I still don't think... I said from day one that the Saints are going to put a whopping on the Bucks, and that scoreline could have been even higher if it wasn't for Alvin Kamara stepping out of bounds in like the last couple of seconds of the game. For me, the Bucks have just got so much needed time to gel. For me, they've got the personnel, which is why I think a Panthers team 2 years ago, I think I'd be saying they're definitely going to win. But the Panthers, like you say, Lee, they're building, aren't they? They need some time to gel as well. So I think they will stumble across the line. I think we've gone 24-20 to the Bucks, I think they're going to make hard work of it. I really do.
I'll be happy with that, Nick, personally.
McCaffrey's going to score, isn't he? He's going to.
Yeah, I think regardless of how well the Bucks have historically...
I think he's going to score a couple. He's going to score a couple for me.
It's difficult to completely shut him out. I mean, they've done it once and once out of however many games. It's difficult to keep on doing, but I don't think we'll have a heck of a load of yardage, personally. I reckon it might be wouldn't be surprised if it's a passing touchdown he gets, if anything.
It's a bit of a free game for the Panthers, isn't it, I think? Because with the Bucks... Yeah, exactly so. And
that's to go out there, a bit of freedom.
Again, and that's exactly why I think the Bucks, they're not in trouble, but they're going to be run right to the end, I think.
I think the difference is that whilst we're both, in a way, like you said, both gelling, but the quality they have over us is quite vast at the moment.
They've got the personnel, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly, which is why I do give them the win, and you obviously give them the win as well. So, But Carl, I can't imagine you've gone any different to what we've just said.
No, I haven't. And to be fair, I've probably been a bit more biased in terms of the scoreline, but it's not far out from yours, Liam. To be honest, it's not. It's only one more score, and I've gone 35-21. That's obviously. That being said, though, I do agree with what Liam said. Like, it depends because Godwin's going to be in concussion protocol. We don't know if he's going to play, and we don't actually know if Mike Evans is fit either because he still looked really tentative on Sunday. So I'm not sure he's entirely fit either, which leaves us with Scotty Miller, who's great, but having him at number one and then relying on essentially Gronk, OJ Howard, Cambray, and then committee with McCoy, Fournette, and Rojo. Obviously, it's not a bad problem to have, but if we do end up missing both Godwin and Evans, that is a big miss for us, like a massive miss. And Liam's always pointed it out himself, to be fair, regardless of our personnel, our run game has never been great. Never been great. And there were glimpses of it improving on Sunday, but it's still only the second week. And I think all the hype aside, when we've had serious conversations, I have agreed with everyone that, yes, we have a lot of great personnel, but we've got so much to lose. And whether that pressure is actually adding to the issues, I really don't know. But that being said, defensively, I think we've been excellent. I don't think the scoreline really against the Saints really justified how good our defense was, if that makes sense. Because I thought they were absolutely excellent. There were only a couple of times where the secondary were caught out, really.
Tom Brady killed you.
Yeah, well, he did on one play. But there were 4 or 5 needless penalties given away.
I think we're forgetting that the Saints are a very, very good team. And Kamara looked like he wasn't carrying any injuries whatsoever. Yeah. Like, he looked well hungry, and that
fresh off his contract as well.
That's not what that division needs, because Kamara is going to go off if that's the case. And yeah.
Let's not forget about Devin White absolutely slapping him, by the way. Just saying.
I don't remember that.
I reckon you'll have a lot of success on the ground. I reckon it could be a breakout for somebody, and I'd like it to be Fournette, because I think he deserves a moment again, because he's had
Ronald Jones.
But you know, we're a team that could not defend the run at all last year, and if last week's anything to go by, we cannot defend the run again this year. Hence, Josh Jacobs are going to town on us. Yeah. So I do think if Godwin's out and Evans isn't 100%, I do think you'll probably focus on the ground, and that is not a bad thing to do against the Panthers' defense right now.
To be honest, mate, I think even if they were playing, I think there will be more focus on the run game, because our defense spent far too much time on the field last week, and I think we need to manage the clock a lot better with how the how we're basically playing the snaps. There was so many neutral zone infractions. Like, it was just ridiculous rookie mistakes, and I think we need to manage the clock and things better. So I do think that we'll focus on the run game a lot more personally. But yes, 35-21. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm never going to say we're going to lose regardless. Rams,
It'd be good for
Eagles.
you to have one over me for a change.
Oh, here we go. Rams, Eagles. Liam, where are you going?
I'm going to the Eagles. I've got them bouncing back from last week's, should we say, fall apart, calamity, whatever we want to call it, against the Redskins second half. But no, I do. They're at home. Whilst I do like what the Rams did last weekend against the Cowboys team, who are being highly touted this year as well themselves. But on the road, I don't think the Eagles are undefeated against the Rams in the last 6 meetings as well. So, you know, that's something to go by. And I do think the Eagles will bounce back. And I've gone with a 24-17 against the Rams. I do think the Rams will look good again, but it will be a close one. But I've got the Eagles just edging it.
Cool. Nick, yourself?
Can't remember. What did I say?
You said, mate. Let me get it for you.
I've got it. Right. I think the Eagles are going to get their 17 again, and I think the Rams are going to go 27. I think they're going to do them. Yeah, I'd be so, like, I've spoke to Mace about it. I'd be really worried, like, about that Eagles team. Like, to do that at Washington. like, I mean, I think we mentioned about it. Like the Washington obviously they've got a big why. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that's going to pump up the team. But the Eagles shouldn't be losing that game.
No.
And it's worrying. I know they've got. I think they've still got some injuries. But for me, the Rams are only going to get better now. I think that they looked better than what I thought they would. Yeah, I'd be a bit worried. And I just think the Rams are doing.
I do feel sorry for the Eagles front seven. Last week, they had Chase Young and Ryan Kerrigan after them. Now they've got AD after them.
Exactly.
Doesn't get much easier, does it?
Exactly, yeah. And I think because Miles Sanders was out last week, wasn't he? I don't know what's going on.
He should. I think he should be back.
But he's obviously going to be a big piece to fill back in. But even so, I think the Rams are going to look at the 49ers last weekend. They're going to think, yeah, let's give it some for this division now. It's difficult to obviously base any conclusion on week one, but yeah, for me, I like the Rams, and I didn't really rate the performance last week. To be honest, I thought that we'll probably go on to about another podcast. I thought it was more the Cowgirls just being the Cowgirls, really, and the Rams are just there to clean up the pieces. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they were very. I don't think they were ever in danger against the Cowboys.
No, yeah.
So I think they just kind of went about their own game plan and stuck with it, and the Cowboys never really threatened to disrupt that plan, I suppose. So
no, exactly that.
Yeah, and I don't see Doug Peterson letting what happened against Washington happening again, though, which is why I've gone Eagles.
Yeah. So Nick has gone 27 Rams, Eagles 17. I have agreed with Liam on this one. To be fair, I think the Eagles have had a really bad first week. Obviously, we all expected them to put the hurt on Washington. They didn't. For me, I just think they'll bounce back and get a result against the Rams, because I also agree with Nick. I don't think the Rams look that great personally. I just thought the Cowgirls were shit, as per. So, yeah, with regards to God, I've lost my train of thought here. The Eagles, it's not rare for them to have a bad few weeks, to be honest, at the start of the season, then start bouncing and pushing on. Now, if they have a bad week this week, then I'd start to worry, but I do expect them to come out on top, to be honest. So I'm not worried about this one for the Eagles. I'm going with a 28-21 to the Eagles. Patriots, Seahawks. Nick's beloved Seahawks. Liam, where are you going?
Seahawks all day. But I do think it'll be close. The reason why I think it'll be close is because of the Patriots' defense. They'll keep them in the game. As Beeve said, Russ is he's arguably the greatest quarterback there is right now, and with against the Patriots offense that hasn't really got many weapons. Cam himself, his record against the Seahawks isn't great either. So for me, there's a lot of things going against Cam Newton and the Patriots, and I do see the Seahawks coming out close winners, but winners nonetheless. And I've gone with a 20-16.
Cool. Nick, are you expecting a Patriots win this week?
Seahawks all day. Literally, I think I said this when we did when the fixtures come out. I said we'll do the Patriots all day. I think with the situation that they're in, my God, how good did Russ look last week? He was unreal. He is the best quarterback in that league.
Yeah.
You can argue Mahomes all you like. Russ Wilson has done this consecutively for 8 years. Yeah. Fact. For me, it was just like, it just all worked. And then apart from there's a few sloppy bits, which is very Seahawks. The most un-Seahawks thing ever was we had like 2 scores in the first 10 minutes. That is just so unheard of, and that is what They have suggested, like going into the summer, they was like, right, they're getting that new coach in, which was designed purely to get us off the front foot and get going.
Sorry to cut you off. I think we were we were about 5-10 minutes in, and Nick was like, "We're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl." In the WhatsApp group. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Sorry, mate. Yeah, carry on.
And for me, it looked like we were going to win it after the first 5 minutes. It just clicked. And I think I texted Ardy just like, we looking really. And Jamal Adams just being in, unreal. For me, I just think we're going to be too much for Patriots, which is probably the first time I've ever said that and even thought it. Yeah. I do. Yeah. But before, it's like previous years when Brady's there and they've got their outfit, it's like we've got to play really well. We've got the ability to do it. We've got to play really well. And even the last couple of years, I wouldn't even said that. This year, I genuinely think like we're winning it. We're going to win this game. So I think I've gone 33-20.
Big moves. Big moves.
Big scores.
Jamal Adams' comment made me laugh when he came out and said, "Not you still winning."
Yeah. So Nick is expecting the Seahawks to put an absolute ass whooping on Bill Belichick's Patriots. I am expecting something similar, to be fair.
I thought you was going to say opposite then.
No. Look, this sounds weird. If the Patriots won by some means, if somehow they won, it wouldn't surprise me just because they're the Patriots. But I expect DK, Tyler, Chris Carson and Big Russ to put an absolute ass whooping on them, to be honest. I really, really do. Yes, the Pats secondary is great, but I just think there's a lot to work on, and it's not as good as it was last year. The defense isn't as good as it was last year, and the Seahawks offense is better. So putting 2 and 2 together, I have to, and coming off such a convincing win as well, I just think that the Seahawks are gonna win this one quite comfortably. But that being said, if Bill Belichick finds out a win, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure on more so than last week. I do personally think there's a bit more pressure on Cam this week than there was last week, because last week it was against the Dolphins and
true, but
this week they're against a big team, strong team in the Seahawks, and I think there's a lot of pressure on him to kind of do it on his own now, because let's be honest, he hasn't really got any weapons, so it's going to fall on him to try and do it on his own in that sense, whether it's his feet or with his arm. But I don't think
What was that stat that come out? What was that stat that come out that it was the Patriots' first QB rushing touchdown for what?
Yeah.
How many years?
It's got to be a while, hasn't it?
Was it like 1980 something or something stupid? Which is
when you say
it's Belichick, isn't it? It's Belichick sort of giving Cam the license, isn't he? Which is what is quite good.
Sure, is that like based on so many yards? Because surely Brady's got a few QB sneaks in.
Well, I thought that, but I'm sure the stat was something like it was the first quarterback rushing touchdown in like well over 10 years.
All right. We need our resident Patriots fan here.
Yeah, we do.
He'd have just gifted us that one within seconds.
Yeah, he would have. Or would have been like, nah.
I know. What did he say in his video? I can't remember what he put the score as.
He said the Seahawks too much.
Oh, fair enough.
Bit too much, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I think he was closer to mine. I think he was closer to my scoreline. I think.
Yeah, I think he probably was.
Was yours the lowest scoreline?
I've gone for a close. Yeah, I think it was. Did I say 2016, something like
that? Yeah, something like that, mate. You did, 16-20. Yeah, so that's our roundup of the 4 selected games we picked. I'm sure we'll be doing another roundup of several more games over the next few days, depending on availability. So it could be all 4 of us, it could be 2 of us, it could be 1 of us. I don't know. Just keep up to date with the content because it's going to be thick. Don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, if you like what you said, like, share, subscribe, comment as much as possible. If you agree, great, or drop your predictions in the comments as well. Thanks for watching. It's been your boys from 4th and Inches. Boys.